anguish, but a life of abundance. Is there anybody else here who wants to preach and live the blessed life? Well, then the text that we have before us today gives us then a formula for preaching and living the blessed life. First of all, the text tells us that to preach or live the blessed life means you must first understand what makes you blessed. Yeah, you gotta understand what makes you blessed. But notice that in the text, there's a distinction set up between oh, yet, and but. And the meaning and the relationship between independent clauses is defined by the coordinating conjunction that links them together. In other words, my friends, for example, and means along or together with. And means also or in addition to. And puts the two independent clauses on equal footing. If the text had said the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, and I am come that you might have life, then that would mean that the thief in the A clause and the Jesus in the B clause are equal. And therefore the levels of life they offer are equal. The coordinating conjunction or connects words, phrases, or clauses that sometimes mean the same thing and sometimes means different things. If the text had said the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, or I am come that you might have life, it would mean that either the A clause or the B clause is not true, or it means that both the thief of the A clause and the Jesus of the B clause are suitable alternatives to one another. Stick with me, because the conjunction nor is most often used with the word neither. It negates whatever object or action it references. If the text had said neither the thief comes to steal, kill, or destroy, nor am I come that you might have life, it would mean that neither the thief of the A clause nor the Jesus of the B clause is true, and therefore there is no need to discuss them in the first place. The coordinating conjunction yet functions much like and, yet affirms the A clause but quantifies it with the B clause. If the text said the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy, yet I mean that Jesus, who is referenced in the B clause, only comes in reaction to the thief in the A clause. However, John 10 and 10 does not coordinate these two independent clauses.
Talk, Reverend!
And or for, nor so or yet. But John 10 and 10 uses the word but. But is a coordinating conjunction that means on the contrary. But is a coordinating conjunction that negates what comes before it and accentuates what comes after it. But reverses the reality contained in the A clause with the message that is in the B clause. But undoes everything that comes before it and replaces it with everything that comes after it. Therefore the work of the thief coming to steal, kill, and destroy in the A clause gets overruled and undone by Jesus, who came that we might have life in the B clause. The work of the thief coming to steal in the A clause gets erased and reversed by Jesus, who came in the B clause. Therefore, if you want to live and preach your blessed life, you got to live and preach after the but. After the but is where Jesus is. After the but is where God begins to work. After the but is where your negative gets negated and your positive gets punctuated. After the but is where your past gives way to your future. After the but is where your burden gives way to your blessing. So Jesus said the thief comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But I am come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. It's the same move that David made when he said, weeping may endure for a night, but joy will come in the morning. Joseph told his brothers that what you meant for evil, but God turned it around for good. God said, I created both the smith that blows and the coals but he was wounded for our transgression. He was bruised for our iniquity. The chastisement of our peace was on him, and by his stripes we're already healed. He goes on to say that even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men will utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They'll mount up on wings like eagles. They'll run and not get weary. They'll walk and not faint. I was lost, but now I'm found. I was sick, but now I'm well. I was hurting, but now I'm healed. I was a sinner, but now I'm a saint. I was caught in hell, but now I can say hallelujah, because God showed up after the but. Blessings flow after the but. And if you want to live the blessed life, you got to preach and live after the but. Well, let me try to close this real quick. Fall into the spaces between the larger rocks. And the professor asked again, now is the jar full? The students were amazed and said, well, you tricked us the first time. But yes, sir, now we can see that now the glass is really full. The professor then took out some sand and began to pour some sand in the jar. The sand fell over the small rocks and down in between the large rocks and began to fill in all the gaps that were left in between the rocks. The professor asked again, well, now is the jar full? The students were impressed at his intellect and said, yes, sir, now this time the jar is full. And this time the professor reached up and grabbed his bottle of water, which he had been drinking of. He poured the water in the jar. The water fell down and cascaded over the large rocks and the small rocks and began to cascade down through the sand. The students were befuddled and said, well, sir, now the jar is really full. The professor went and picked up a lid, put the lid on the jar, shook the jar up, and everything settled. When he put the jar down, he could pour some more water in. And all I'm trying to say to you today is I don't know where God has you, but I know what God is doing to you. He is shaking you up so he can put more in you. He is shaking you up so he can get more out of you. He is shaking you up so just when somebody thought you were at the end of your rope, God shook you up and began to give you more. And if you want to live and preach the blessed life, you got to preach about more. We need more holiness, but we also
yes, sir, Reverend.
We need more salvation, but we also need more schools. We need more joy, and we also need more jobs. We need more rejoicing, and we also need reinvestment in the community. We need more blessings, and we need more unemployment benefits. We need more faith, and we need better quality food. We need more God, and we need better grocery stores. We need more love, and we need better landscaping. And I won't be satisfied until justice rolls down like rivers and righteousness like a mighty stream, because just enough is not enough, because God promised more than enough. Jehovah Jireh, he's my provider. You're more than enough for me. Jehovah Rapha, he's our healer. With his stripes we've been set free. Jehovah Shammah, you are with me to supply all my needs. You're more than enough. He's more than enough. He's more than enough. He's more than enough for you and me. Say